the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own. You made it.
So, welcome to Code Home Classroom. I'm your tutor Desmond Evans. It's always good to have you here. So today we are going to do HTML styles, okay? And I hope that you are following from lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3, okay, lecture 4. If you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification by clicking on the bell down there, okay? And if you've not watched the lecture 1, lecture 2 to 4, I will encourage you to go and watch, because it's a practical class and you can follow suit, okay? So once again, I welcome you all to Code Home Classroom, and this lecture is going to be about HTML styles, okay? In lecture 4, we treated we started with HTML, the basic template, and we did our mockup. We went to mockup.com to create our own a nice mockup there. And today we are going to add HTML styles, okay? We are going to style our website. Now, if you look at the work that we did in lecture 4, I'm going to show you the work now. I'm trying to open it. No. So yeah. So this is the work that we did in our lecture 4, okay? But let's go to our mockup, the mockup website. I've forgotten the site we used the last time, but I think I can find it in the search engine. So this is what we did, and I was saying that basically everything you see on the website are boxes. So you can see that the Code Home Classroom is inside the box, about us is a box, or the paragraph side is a box, and the copyright, everything is also in a box. My internet is very slow, very slow. Let me check. Okay. Yeah, mock apps. This is the site we used the last time, and I said that you can download Evolus Pencil. That's a setup, a .exe from Windows and I think MacBook. Yes, you can get it there. So I don't know why the link is slow. I don't think we will be using it, but let's go straight into today's class, okay? We'll go back for the mockup. Yeah, so HTML styles, okay? Now there's an attribute, and in the last lecture I was talking about attributes, which is aligns an attribute. We always write inside the opening element h1. You see, there's some attributes that you can add them to the opening element, okay? So align, I introduce you to an align attribute whereby you can use it to center the text. Now there's an attribute called style, okay, in HTML. So when you open, if you open an element, you can actually add a style element attribute to the element, and you will use that attribute to style that particular let's say box, or that particular text inside the box I've been talking about, okay? So in order to style anything there, I want to show you the basic syntax, okay, for style. That's you write the property name here and colon followed by the value that the property holds, okay? So the property followed by the value that the property holds. Okay, always remember that. So I'll introduce you to a lot of style properties. Okay, there's no need to go in for a cheat book and write or memorize all the styles or all the styling properties. But as time goes on, as we build more projects, as we do more practicals here, you are going to get used to the common ones. Okay, you don't need to know all of them. You're going to get to use the common ones that can help you achieve your goal. Okay, so looking at the mockup we did the last time, I don't think I can log in now. I hope so. So we had a color at the background of the header. You had a color at the background of the header. I don't know why my internet is slow. MTN, if you are watching me, MTN. The network is very slow. So then you should continue. We had a color. I want to know the color, but my internet is very slow. I've forgotten the color code. So let's use a color. So if you want a color for I have a star here, a star attribute to the text, which is h1, but our header we had a background colored. So all that you need to do is just add a star attribute, okay, to this the element header, and we call for background color. So you see that with the Sublime text, it actually takes you through a lot of properties. You see a property, we have flex basis, dominant baseline, and we are going to use most of them. Box shadow, border image, border collapse, all these, scroll behavior. So all these are properties. You see that Sublime text gives you let's say a hint of the property you want to use. So it makes the work very easier. So you say background, hit an enter key, and it gives even the syntax. It brings your column there for you to enter the value. So the value will be a color because it's background color. So the value there should be a color. And with HTML5, the nice thing about it is that you can simply write some basic colors in there. And if the browser recognizes the name of the color, it's going to give you the color. So let's save it. Oh, so this is what I was talking about. My screen wasn't showing. So inside the header, I was saying that we had a star. We add our star attribute to it, and forgive me about that. Our property, you see, your star, you come to a property and the value of the property. One property that we are going to use is background color. It's English, okay, and we add our color to it. So with HTML5, can write a color name there, and the browser can pick if it recognizes the name. So always remember to end your property and value with a semicolon to end this particular code, okay, this star. If you continue with another, let's say another property here like this, it's wrong. Always remember to bring the semicolon to end that particular block of code, okay. So let's say the background color is red. We save it, we go back to the browser, and we refresh our work. Bingo. Okay, now you can see that our header is having a background color red now. Okay, so if we want to do the same thing for the footer, just your star attribute to the footer element inside there, and background color. Yeah, you got that right, background color. Let's say black, but you can also use the color code. Okay, color coding. So there's a color code for black, which is 000, but we have shades of black. Okay, let's see for the footer. Yeah, we have it there. So we have our text in there. But see, our text is also black, so we are not seeing the text well. Then we have to work on the color of the text. Okay, so when we go to the paragraph, we can actually add a star attribute here, which will work on only the paragraph. Okay, but because you should know that the footer is the bigger box we have, and the paragraph is inside the box. Now, easiest way of, easier way of understanding this is that the footer is the mother or the parent element. Okay, the parent element, and the p inside it is always the child element. So for instance, body, this whole body will be a parent element because it's a bigger element with everything inside, header, section, footer, as the child element inside the body. Okay, so that's one basically thing to note there. And it means that anything that you do to the parent, okay, it will affect the child element inside the parent element. Now, if um, basically if your mom is fair and your mom is a white woman and your dad is a white man, and they give birth and you're a black child, you should know that somebody passed somewhere, and definitely it's your mom who passed somewhere. Okay, so if this is the parent element, okay, and p is a child element, and let's say I set the parent element his color. Okay, now background color is for the background of the element, but if you want to set the text inside, the color for the text inside, you use the property called color. As simple as that. And you write the color, terminate it, you write the color for the text. And this time we're going to use white, but I'm going to use the color code. And the color code for white is that's the pound or the hash, depending on the country you're coming from or you're watching from. So whether pound or hash, FFF, whether 3F or 6Fs, okay, it gives you okay. So this is the code. The footer, once again, the footer is the parent element, the p inside the program inside the footer, that's the child element. So anything that I set in the parent element can affect the child element. I don't need to write, I can equally write a style here and set the color of this particular text to white. But if I happen to apply the color property to the parent element, it affects the child element. Okay, if your mom is white, your father is white, you're basically a white child. Okay, so let's save it and let's go and refresh our site. Voila. Oh, okay, so by looking at our mockup, it's still here. Did I log in? I can't remember what I logged in with. I think I logged in with my Gmail account. All right. See that the footer is quite short. Okay, we can set the height. Yes, we can set the height of the footer. Okay, so let's go into our code and go and set the height of the footer. So basically, I know you are guessing the footer inside the star. We have background color, we can add another star, which is what? Height. And the height deals with pixels. Okay, so 100 pixels. I think 100 pixels will do. Px. Let's save our work. Let's go and refresh it. Voila. Yeah, so we have our height there. So this is basically it for HTML stars. Okay, that means that I introduced you that there's a star attribute in there. Okay, there's a star attribute in there. Always remember, you can add a star attribute and just set the property and the value. So some of the properties I've introduced you to background color and the color for the text in there. Okay, and I explained that footer is a parent element to the page. The paragraph is a child element inside the parent element called footer. So anytime you do to the style, the style of the parent, it can affect the child element. Okay, so that's it, and that's it. And I'm going to introduce you to CSS. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to CSS. We have 10 more minutes to go. It will never exceed 25 minutes. Okay, I think 25 minutes is cool for you to catch up. All right, now CSS, HTML, CSS. And there are three types of CSS. Okay, there are three types of CSS. There are three types of CSS, and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Okay, and we can use CSS to control the layout of multiple web pages all at once. Okay, the layout, how to arrange the things, the color of the text, a lot of things. We can create a box around some element. We can have a box shadow to create a card. Okay, and now I'm going to introduce you to all those things. Okay, so in order to style your HTML code, okay, you use CSS, that's Cascading Style Sheet, and there are three ways in using CSS in your HTML elements. The first one is inline. That is, the inline is by using the style attribute that I introduced you to. Okay, by just adding a style to the element and just writing all the codes in there, the property and the value. And the second one is internal CSS. Okay, and I'm going to introduce you to internal CSS. And the third one is external CSS. So basically, I showed you HTML styles, and by showing you HTML styles, I've introduced you to inline styling. Okay, inline CSS. So that's by adding the style attribute to this. That's by adding the style attribute to HTML elements. Okay, that's inline. Okay, inside the HTML element, that's called inline styling. That's CSS, inline CSS. Now the second one is internal CSS. Okay, and I'm going to introduce you to internal CSS, and basically maybe the external if time will permit. So I'm going to introduce you to internal CSS. Okay, yeah. So to start with internal CSS, inside the head, okay, yeah, inside the head, that is where we put the internal. That's why we say internal. Internal means that the CSS, okay, is added to the HTML page. Okay, that's internal. So if you have index.html, coffee.html, store.html, and we want to start that particular page, let's say index.html, or maybe we want to start store.html, and we say we are going to use internal, that means the CSS is going to be on that same page. And if I put an internal CSS on index.html, it will not affect store.html unless I come to copy the whole styles, the whole CSS, and go and just dump it on store.html. Okay, yes. So for you to start with the internal CSS, you go inside your head, the head element, and you call for the style. There's an element called style. So the type is CSS, as you can see. So all the CSS code goes here. And remember, CSS is just simply the property and the value. It holds the property and the value. But this time around, we are going to add another section to it, which is the element we are styling. Okay, the element we are styling. So if we are using the internal CSS, here we don't start by writing the property here and bring the value. No, the element. That means we have to select which of these elements down here we want to style. Okay, do you get me? So I'm going to delete all these things for you to understand. I'm going to delete all the inline styling. Okay, hope you are with me. Yeah. Okay, so we've saved it. Let's go to our work and refresh. Bingo. So yes, we are good to go. Now let's go to, we have some few minutes, let's go to our code, to our inline. Now in the mockup, we saw that the header had a background called what? Background color. Okay, and let me see that I have it. Okay, I hope it's going well with you. Just follow suit, do the same thing I'm doing, and you'll be okay, you'll be fine. If you don't get anything, just you can just rewind the video and just go over it again. Okay, I don't know why it's asking me to allow again, because I hope this is the account I used to log in. All right, fantastic. So you can see that everything is cleared there. Let's go back to our code. Yeah, so the background color was changed. Okay, so in order to change the background color, here you start by selecting the element of the HTML you want to affect the changes, and you use your curly braces. Okay, like this, and inside the curly braces goes your property. Your property colon, again the same thing, and you end the code with a semicolon, and here goes your value. So if there are plenty styles, you just have to property value inside that element. So if the element is header, all the styles in there will affect the header. Do you get me? As simple as that. So we are going to select an element. Okay, oops, okay. Okay, all right. I'm looking for the project, the design I did, so we can follow suit. Okay, so maybe we will see some small minutes today. We are going to exceed our time. So I'm looking for the mockup that we did online. I think last 2 days ago. Okay, my link is very slow here. Wait, I can use my charger. Okay, so let's go ahead. So inside the style, okay, element, that's internal styling once again. So we select an element. The element we want to work on is the header element. Our curly braces and our CSS property and value goes here. So the same thing, the background color. Okay, and the color we said was red. Okay, let's save this and see whether it will work. Okay, the mockup. Okay, it will come through. Let's refresh. Bingo, it's working perfectly. It's working. Yeah. Let me work on my internet. I don't know why the internet is so slow. Very slow. I'm working on my internet, guys. I want the web to be very fast, else I'm going to use so much of your time today. Alright. Always get a nice song whenever you're coding. It really helps. Okay. I can't play a song right now because of copyright claims. I don't want to play a song at the background for you, but I don't want any copyright claims from YouTube. Okay. but there are non-copyright songs. Okay, non-copyright songs. If you want to become a YouTuber, maybe like myself, there are some non-copyright songs that you can use. For instance, there's this song that I normally put it under. Maybe I'll be using from today on.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down.
The nice song that you can code
All
it. It's
around
the coding
this
song.
empty town,
Okay.
we're searching for the lost and found, but you don't care.
So this is our mockup, okay, that we did the last time, and the code home, the header was black actually. So let's go back to our code and go and work on it. Okay. So it was black. Okay, and we like to use the color code. I want to use the color code 22 instead of a shade of black, right? Not the complete black. Okay, let's refresh and see. Okay, fantastic. And our text was white. So let's go. So it's working. Save and just refresh. You have black. And let's go and work on our text. Our text is also black in there, but our text inside the mockup was white. So to work on the text, we say color. And I told you we can come in here and come and do an inline style and set the color of the code home text to white. But if we work on the parent element, okay, the child element, which is h1 inside the parent element header, takes on the property of the parent element. So you can set the color here as white. The color code is FFF, and let's go and find out. Okay, so we are good to go. Let's go and work on the footer. Let's go and see the color. It's green, but it's a shade of green. Let me see whether I can edit this work. Oh. Allow access to this project only. Okay, so it's green. I don't know the shade, so I can't guess the color code. So it's the same thing. If you want to work on the footer, we are doing internal CSS, so you just have to select the element called footer. So you don't add the footer here, mind you don't add the footer here, it's not part of the header. Okay, so this is the end of the header. You come down here, let me space my work. If you want to comment your work, and commenting is very good for developers, okay, you always have to come back to your code. So in order for you to remember what you were doing, it's easy for you have to comment. Okay, you have to comment your work, and to comment in CSS, you just have to use the / the asterisk, say that's commented, but you have to bring another asterisk / to end the comment. Say that, oh, this is for the header element. Now mind you say, oh, this one, but won't this thing appear on my website? No, comments don't appear. Sorry, comment, this is a comment / asterisk, and the and whatever you want to describe goes in there, and you have to close it. If you don't close it, it cancels out your header, and it will not show in your browser because your header is commented. Okay, let's save this work and I'll show you. Anytime you comment, it doesn't show in the browser. Okay, so it's not working. So let's go back to our code. Let's go to our code. Let's go and end the comment. Asterisk / So we save the work. Now this is for the header, won't show. Yes, but this for the header is not showing because it's a comment. The browser doesn't read comments. So let's go back to our code and go and work on the footer. Okay, so down here we call for the footer element. Always remember curly braces, the background color let's say green. I don't know the shape, so I can't determine the code. I can't remember my color coding for green. So let's write green. Let's save the work and let's go and find out. Very good. But looking at our mockup, okay, we can see that the footer is a little bit down, and the size of the box or the height is bigger or longer. The same applies to the header. Okay, and there's no white space at the edges. Look at the edges. These are the edges I'm talking about. Edges where the mouse is. But when you look at our work, see there's a white space here at the corners. The white space at the top, which is supposed not to be so. Okay, and we're going to work on that. So let's go back to our code. Let's go and work on the height of the footer. So there's a property called height already, and let's say 100 pixels. Yeah, and let's set the header height to, let's say, 50 pixels. Let's save the work, go back to our browser and refresh. Okay, I think it's quite okay. The text in the footer has to be white, so footer element, the color code FFF, and it was down. Okay, it was down. Okay, looking at the mockup, the copyright is supposed to come down. So let's save our work and I'll show you what I mean by down. When we refresh, it's white, but when we go to the mockup, you see that the copyright is a little bit down. There's a space at the top of copyright, not like how ours is looking. Okay, so to do that, to push it down, you can use margin. Okay, and a lot of margin top, margin left, margin right, margin bottom. So look at the top, the space at the top, so we're going to use margin top property, and you set this the height. Okay, so the height, let's say 20 pixels margin from the top. Go back to our browser, refresh. Oh no, okay, so guys, we are working in the parent element, so you could see that the footer itself pushed down, not the text. So in order to do that, you say, oh, how can we achieve it? We can achieve it in several ways, in the same 3 ways, whether to use inline CSS or to use internal or external. But because we are doing internal CSS, you can actually come here, come and do an inline CSS like star. It's the same thing, star, the same margin top, 20 pixels. Oh, forgive me. Yeah. So you can come down and come and do an inline styling, star, margin top, 20 pixels. Here, let me write that again for you to follow. Margin top, 20 pixels, and you save your work. You refresh. Oh, did I save the work? Control S. Okay, let's set it to 50 pixels. Save. Styling margin top. Refresh. Okay, it's working. It's still working on the paragraph. Okay, so guys, let's debug the code. We're working on the paragraph. We're working on the text. So if you want to have a space at the top of this copyright, I think one of the property that we can use is padding. We push the text inside, okay, to create a space at the top. Okay, so we can use padding top rather. Let's try that and see. And always with CSS, instead of the margin top, I'm using padding top. Okay, with CSS, you just have to play with the properties and the values, okay, to achieve the style that you want to get. If it's not working, always play with them. Okay, so let's go and find out whether that works for us. If it works, don't touch the code. Very good. So it works. So that's for, let's reduce it to, let's say 20 pesos, or let's reduce it to 20 pesos and go and check. Okay, better. Okay, so our code works fine, but it's left with the top, the spaces around, the white spaces around. Okay, our mockup is not like that. There are no spaces around at the edges, so we're going to work on that also. Okay, all right. So I introduce you to the inline, but let's say I don't want to use inline. I want to use the internal CSS. Okay, now there's a way that I can do. I can tell the browser that you should select the footer element. Okay, no, not that way. So inside the footer element, I said everything in the footer element, there should be a padding at the top. Before that, let me just comment this and save it and show you that they've gone back to the same. Yeah, they've gone back to the same thing. So let's go back to our code. So padding top, undo, 20 pesos. Anything in the footer. Okay, so let's go back to the browser. Very good, it works perfectly. So now the next thing I want us to do is to work on the spaces at the top of the code and at the edges of our design. Okay, let's work on that. So in order to achieve that, we use the asterisk and curly braces. Now when I say asterisk curly braces, it means that all the elements in my design, okay, all elements, so it affects okay. So when I say, in order to achieve that, this is what I'm going to do. Asterisk curly braces, I mean that whether header, whether body, anything from body downwards, okay, if I say asterisk, it means that I've selected every element in there, okay, and any change that I do here should affect all the elements. It's a super parent element. So asterisk is like the super parent of all, it's like the grandparent of all of them. Okay, so I'm going to say that margin, whether margin top, whether margin bottom, whether all the margins, okay, I'm going to set it to 0 because by default the browser has created a margin around our text. Okay, so we're going to set it to 0, save it, go to our browser and go and refresh. Bingo, so there we have it. Okay, so the same thing for the code on classroom, the header, the text inside, we can use padding, whether padding top. Okay, let's set it to, let's say let's use padding, so to squeeze it in, 20 pesos. Okay, so we set it to 20 pesos for the padding for the header. Okay, let's go to our browser and go and check. Okay, so we squeeze that to in. All right, so that's basically it for this tutorial. I've introduced you to the HTML styles, which is the inline. I've introduced you to internal CSS. So in our next tutorial, I'm going to introduce you to external CSS. So this is our code. Your code should look like this. Your code should look like this. Okay, and for your assignment for today, I want you to do the same thing. Okay, the exact thing, the same thing, and I ask you to create an account on Pastebin. Okay, so do the same thing. Copy your code, paste it, name it whether HTML assignment 1. Okay, and copy all your codes, paste it inside there, and share the link on the Telegram page. Okay, with your name hyphen the link on the Telegram page, and I'll take a look at your assignment. Okay, so I'll see you in the next tutorial, whereby I'm going to introduce you to external CSS, and we are going to do more crazy stuff. So we're going to have a bigger project to do as compared to this basic website that we have here. We're going to have a lot of things. I'm going to introduce you to menu, buttons, and we're going to put more nice things in there, images, cards. Okay, so I'll see you in the next tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the notifications, click on the bell down there, okay, and get notified when there's a new video. I'll see you. Bye bye.
You meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away